Hey, it's Justin Marshall from Primetime Local News. It's time to take a year in review. 2019, great year in Cold Lake, and 2020 is going to be even better. Catching up with the mayor of Cold Lake, Mr. Craig Copeland. So how was 2019?
Well, 2019 was sort of a continuation of the recession, as we call it. We're going into our fourth and fifth year of it, and so but we did get some highlights. This year, of course, the big project in the area, of course, was the water line. The water line going to Cold Lake First Nations in the south, and also down to the town of Bonnyville. So a big project because a lot of local companies were involved. So put a lot of locals to work, and it's like pretty much the biggest provincial spend ever in this area in my entire time as mayor. You're talking about close to $80 million of provincial dollars was spent on the water line. So when you look at all the capital projects that the province does over the years, you don't see a lot of projects in northeastern Alberta. When I say northeast, I'm talking about Lloydminster to Vegreville, up to Lac La Biche and over to Cold Lake. We've kind of been off the radar for many years, and so this waterline project is the first big project in a long time that you're actually seeing some of the return of the dollars back into the Lakeland area.
How big is that? Because, water's life, and I'm on Bonnyville Water, and I'm not going to knock it, but it's
different. It's different. It's all about the residents of the Bonnyville getting better drinking water. It was a quality of life issue. That's why the province stepped in there and said, because the provinces are the ones that decides where the drinking water sources are going to be, and so they came in and helped out the town of Bonnyville in a big way with this water line. So they've decided, the province that is, that Cold Lake can sort of provide drinking water via the water source for over 100,000 people in the area. So, of course, we don't have 100,000 people in the area, but we're certainly going to the water's going to go down to Bonnyville, and then there's going to be other legs attached to the pipe, and so possibly Frog Lake and others will be getting the drinking water from Cold Lake. And so for the city of Cold Lake, how we benefit from the project is there's going to be some upgrades to the water treatment plant, so that's going on right now by the beach. So the contract was divided into 4 different contracts, 2 of them being the pipeline work, and then 1 at the water treatment plant, upgrading that, allowing it to be able to provide water for over 40,000 people. So there's been a lot of construction down the beach. It's impacted a lot of Cold Lake residents. As you can imagine, bringing the pipeline through town was unsettling. A lot of people's houses, the pipeline's going right by their house, a lot of digging, and hopefully it'll be all up and running by this coming summer.
Really exciting news in 2019. If you're a Starbucks fan, Cold Lake got Starbucks.
It was, yeah. It's great. Over the years, we've always trying to be lobbying. People always say, when are you going to have Starbucks in your community? And so we're really excited that Starbucks is here. Some investors have put up a building. Starbucks is coming in, and then there's a possibility of Ito Japan also coming in beside them. And so, it's great to see the business community taking risks because, as everybody knows, the areas, there's a lot of people out of work right now. The oil business seems really flat. Nobody's investing. But once you see those pipelines in the ground and actually ready to start taking product, let's say within a year from now. So we've got the Line 3 issued going to Minnesota right now. That's sort of held up in the courts. You got Keystone, again, held up in the courts in the United States. And, of course, the Trans Mountain, which local Cold Lake and Bonnyville people are out there working right now on the pipeline. So that's encouraging. And so eventually you'll see this area turn around.
Really quickly, speaking of turning around, Prime Minister Trudeau was cornered by President Trump just recently to spend more of our GDP, about 2%, on military spending. Cold Lake, big military town. Do you think we'll benefit from that?
Oh, absolutely we are. We're seeing the new fighter jet program, so that's going to be replacing the F-18s, and it's long overdue. Can you imagine flying a plane that was built in the early 80s? The men and women of the Air Force do a great job keeping those planes up in the air, and so it's great that our pilots are going to have a new fighter plane, and so that'll come on stream probably about 2025, 26. But what's happening probably next year at this time on the base is a lot of the hangars are going to start to be knocked down, and brand new infrastructure is going to be built on the base. Rumor is about $500 million worth of projects over the next several years on the base.
Craig, really appreciate your time. A great year in review, and can't wait to see what 2020 brings us.
Oh, yeah, me too.
For Primetime Local News, I'm Justin Marshall. We'll send you back to studio.